As internal auditors, we are the guardians of governance. And whatever we do, it is for the benefit of the organization.
This is Siphelele Music.
My name is Siphelele Mtshengu. I am the head of Internal Audit at Mintech. I'm here with two of my junior auditors. I've got Bongokuhle, Zulu.
Yes, I'm a junior internal auditor. I'm Khanyisile, Garane, and I'm also a junior internal auditor.
Okay, so I'm Siphe. I know a bit of your background, and I know that you actually started off in IT, and you moved from IT to internal audit. And I would like to know what attracted you to internal audit and what made you want to move.
Okay, so I started off my career. I've got a BCom in information systems, which is more for IT, and I went to work for one of the big audit firms as an IT advisory consultant. While I was working there, we were advisory to external auditors as well as the internal audit divisions for the Big Four firm. And I kind of like had an interest in auditing because for me, I think what drew me to the career was the opportunity to understand the business and also to ensure that governance, corporate governance, IT governance is well managed within organizations. So I think for me, my desire was to ensure that there's good governance structures within organizations. So I think that's what I loved about it, the value add that audit actually provided to organizations to ensure that there's proper alignment to regulations, to the required acts and so forth. So that's what made me fall in love with internal audit. Yes.
Okay, so my follow-up question is going to be like, how was Siphelele as a junior internal audit? Who was Siphelele as a junior internal audit?
Well, that was a long time ago. But one thing that I will tell you, I think one of the advantages of working for a Big Four firm is that you get exposed so much to different types of industries. I mean, I've worked in pharmaceutical, I've worked in banking, I've worked in construction. And I was always very inquisitive. I was always curious. So I was what you would call a teacher's pet in school. So I always made sure that wherever my seniors were, I was there in those conversations, even if I'm not going to form part of the discussions. So when they're having meetings with the client, I always ask to take along so that I can learn, see how they conduct interviews, see how clients are, see all that. And then I was afforded that opportunity. So for me, I was very inquisitive as a junior auditor. And I think that propelled me to want to excel in my career, to do more and be more. So yes, I was very inquisitive.
And what would you say were some of the challenges that you faced earlier on in your career?
Without revealing my age, the challenge with when I started working, it was that time where BEE was being introduced. A lot of companies were looking at taking in young black females to push their BEE stats. And sometimes you felt that you are here, but you're not really wanted here. And I think for me, that was the biggest challenge, to say, hey, I'm not just a BEE stat, but I actually have brains. I can actually provide a lot of value for the organization. So for me, that was one of the challenge, not just being seen as a BEE stat, to up your BEE scorecard so that you can get more tenders within the organization, but to be seen as a value-adding, smart, intelligent woman that I am. So for me, that was one of the biggest challenges that I faced, and I constantly had to prove that I know what I'm doing. Yes.
That's beautiful. One question that has always been on my mind, you know, internal audit, I won't say it's dull. internal audit is not dark, but you bring such color to the profession. So I want to know, like, can you take me through your creative thought process? Because you see this challenge and it's like, okay, the next thing you can do maybe is follow the SOP, but you always come up with such like innovative ideas and how to tackle. So like, can you just take me through your thought process of how do you come up with such solutions?
Whether the organization understands that or not, but we are here to say, hey, let's keep our house clean, let's keep our house in order. Most people see us as that unnecessary evil or the necessary evil that we have to be there. We are the police dogs. We are not that. We're actually here to say, hey, let's walk hand in hand. And the minute you show the organization that I am actually here to assist you. What I've noticed is then they bring you closer and they're able to share their challenges with you, and you are able to then provide insight to say, okay, if you do a cost-benefit analysis, it might not be feasible for you to do this, but let's explore other avenues. What works for us as Mintech? Wow, how can we tailor the solutions for us as Mintech without obviously going against regulations and all of that, but to say, hey, we are here to serve you. We are here to say, how do we then find the solutions to ensure that we've got a good internal control environment. We have good risk management processes in place. We have good corporate governance processes in place. So that's how you, by seeing yourself as a value add to the organization and also putting yourself within the organization, understanding the business that you're in, you are able to say, I'm moving out of my rigid SOP policy and so forth, but to be able to say, oh no, but I understand that this is how things work at Bio, this is how things work at PMD, and therefore how do we then align ourselves? That then makes your creativity to also go up higher, because you know the business. You're not just looking at your IIA standards or what the manual is saying, but you're part of the business yourself.
I know that you're a mother, a great one at that. I want to know how you manage to balance your work life and your personal life, especially as a woman in your position.
It's tough being a woman, because you're more than just an employee. You are an employee, you are a mother, you are a sister, you are also a friend, you are an aunt. So the caps that you wear are a lot, and you need to ensure that all of those important people in your life get a piece of you, and not a broken piece of you, but your whole you. It is important to make sure that you manage your time very well. I am very intentional about my time. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to ensure that I do a little bit of exercise, and then I also make sure that I do my devotions. I then make sure that I prepare my food for the day. What am I going to eat? Then I'm able to spend a little bit of time with my kids as well, and then come to the office, and I give it my all in the office. Most of the time, you know, I'm in the office, and I come and I do my all, and I make sure that at the time that I'm supposed to knock off, unless there's something else that is pressing, I take that time, I go home, spend time with my friends, spend time with my family, and I'm intentional because I make sure that I plan. I use my planner, my daily and weekly planner and my monthly planner are full, to ensure that I'm intentional about saying, who am I, how am I spending my time, what am I filling my gaps with. I need to have time for myself as a person. I need to have time for my children as their mother. I need to have time for my friends. I need to have time for my family, and I need to have time as well for all the other hobbies and interests that I do have. So it's all about being intentional and making sure that you plan ahead, so that you know that at this time and at this time, this is what I'm going to do. This is why even at work, it's important to ensure that you have your daily to-do list, your daily planner. This is what I intend to do. So that at the end of the week, at the end of the day, you say, have I achieved the goals that I had set myself for? How are you finding internal audit? I know you guys started internal auditing. Is what you are doing versus what you studied aligned? Is what you thought it would be and what it is now aligned?
Okay, I'll go first. For me, I'm finding it that the actual work environment is less pressure than school. Because in school, it's like this bombard of new information. So you're tackling and putting in so much information that you're not quite sure of. So I think when you practically see it in the workforce, it's much easier than studying it to go write a test. So far I think the profession is very interesting. You learn a lot, and I think it's more better for a person if you have great leadership, because this is a field. I'm not going to say you need someone that's going to guide you and hold your hand, but you do need a visionary, someone who's going to show you and direct you on how to tackle certain things, because it's not a subjective profession. It's not okay, this is how we do it. You deal with people, so you need to have client engagement skills. You need to be able to talk well. You need to be able to write and construct proper reports based on sometimes personal skills of people, personal attributes from people. So I think so far there's still a lot to learn, there's still a lot to grow from, but I'm finding it less pressure than school life.
Okay, for me, I would say it's a roller coaster. We've been meeting a lot of different people, because you interact with a lot of different people and different characters. So it's just been a roller coaster, but I would say I've been enjoying it a lot. Getting to do the actual practical work has been very fun, instead of just sitting in your desk and studying everything. So far, so good.
Nice. How are you ladies putting yourself out there? Are you IIA members? How are you ensuring that you know the industry, you know the people in the industry? Because the internal audit community is relatively small. It's not as big as you would think it is. It's relatively small. How are you putting yourself out there? How are you putting your names out there?
Okay, to start off, we are members of the Institute of Internal Auditors. I think for us, since we are such beginners, I would say we are beginners in the field. I think going to conferences, attending trainings, meeting different types of auditors, because it's not just internal auditors, so there's different types of auditors. So engaging with those external auditors, engaging with IT auditors, it changes your perspective of internal audits, and then you don't just focus on the profession of internal audits. You actually think, I can go into forensic, I can go into environmental, I can branch out and do this. So I think just attending those conferences, attending those trainings where you meet different types of auditors, it plays a huge role for us.
Yeah, I would agree with Khany as well. Attending the trainings and the conferences, you get to interact with a lot of people, different positions from the public sector, private sector, you get to understand in the different environments and everything like that.
I think lastly from my side is, what are the opportunities that the organization has provided for you as internal auditors? Are you happy with the opportunities that you have been provided? What are your aspirations for the future?
Okay, so for me, I would say there could be a bit of improvement in terms of, we would like to study further, obviously. We have your CIA certifications and all of that. But I'd say in attending trainings, they're very supportive in terms of us attending trainings and attending conferences, and yeah.
Okay, for me, I'm still in the middle. I'm not quite sure in the long run, do I want to be a professional or do I want to be an academic? But so far, I'm happy with the professional routes that Mentech is providing me with, the experience, the putting me out there. But Khany, in 10 years' time, I'm not sure if she's going to be in your position. I'm not sure if she's going to be in your position or she's going to be in front of a class lecturing. So I think we'll just have to wait and see.
Awesome.
This is Phase Music.